Welcome to this video on the basic use of numbers in Python. My name's Andy Wicks, and in this video we're going to go into a little more detail about handling numbers. Before I get into too much detail though, there are a couple of things I ought to mention. Just in case you're new to programming, you use a star to multiply two numbers. For example, 2 star 3 means 2 times 3. And you use a slash to show divide, a forward slash. So 4/2 would give 2. But let's start the program running because there are a few little quirks I need to show you. Python can do some very complicated arithmetic for you. Here I'm doing something fairly simple though. 8 times 6 divided by 4. Well, 8 times 6 is 48. And if we divide 48 by 4, we get 12. But as you can see here, it's saying 12.0. If you have a divide in your calculations, you will always get a floating point number. That's a number with a decimal point in it. Because it can't be bothered to work out, does this have anything after the decimal point? It just says, you're doing divide? I'm assuming a decimal place or more. So here we're doing something fairly simple. But what happens if I want to have 2 plus 3 times 4? Well, 2 plus 3 is 5, times 4 is 20. So let's see what happens. As you can see, it says the answer is 14. So why has it got it wrong? Well, that is to do with Bodmas. Bodmas is something that you cover at school, but just in case it passed you by, let's have a quick refresher. Bodmas is the order in which things get done. It's the order of precedence. So first of all, it does any brackets. So let's have a look in something I've set up here just to illustrate what's going on. As you can see, we've got 2 plus 3 times 4, which we had in the video, but I've decided to square the result. What it does is it looks for the inside brackets first. So the most inside bracket it's got contains 2 plus 3. Well, 2 plus 3 when I was at school was 5. So it does that first. And it says what I've got now is bracket 5 times 4. Bracket squared. So then it looks to see, are there any brackets? Yep, there are brackets. So we've got to resolve what's in those brackets first. 5 times 4 is 20. So now we've got 20 squared because it has to do what's in the brackets first. Now we've got 20 squared, it can say, what comes next? That's powers of, and it works out that 20 times 20 is 400. The order in which it does things are brackets, powers of, division and multiplication are the same sort of thing, just in reverse, so those are being bracketed together. And only last does it do addition and subtraction. And those are being bracketed together because it does those at the same level as well. So where we have 2 plus 3 times 4, it sees that the times is there and it does the multiplication before it does the addition. So what it does is 3 times 4, which is 12. And then it says, what's the next thing I do? There are no brackets, there's no powers of, there's no multiplication or division. So what I'll do is I'll add the 2. And that's why it makes it 14. So how do I change this so that I get the answer I wanted? Well, fortunately, that's fairly simple. All we have to do is put brackets around the things that we want done first. That changes the order of precedence, the order in which things are done. And so now it says, I'll do what's in the brackets first, 2 plus 3. that's 5. Then 5 times 4 is 20. And lo and behold, I now get the correct answer. The next step is to use variables in a calculation. And up above, I'd set up pi and radius. And so since everybody loves geometry, I'm going to do the circumference of a circle. Here I've calculated the circumference of a circle using the pi and radius that I'd got set up earlier. You'll remember that a constant is in uppercase and a variable is in lowercase. So the formula for a circumference is 2 pi r. So here I've got 2 times pi times r, the radius. Notice that we always leave spaces either side of an operator. That's good PEP 8, and we'll be on about that a lot. But what about if we wanted to use powers of? How do we do powers of? Well, that's quite simple too. Let's calculate the area of that circle that we had earlier. The area of a circle is pi r squared. Here we're calculating pi times the radius, and then we're squaring the radius. Remember, we do Bodmas, powers of come before times. And the powers of in Python are star star. So where we've got radius star star 2, that means radius to the power of 2, radius times radius. So the radius squared, then times pi, and that gives us 31.83. Well, we've done some quite clever arithmetic, but there's more we can do yet. For example, we quite often need to know the modulus of a number. What do you get left over when you divide one number by another? 27 modulus 5 gives 2. If you divide 27 by 5, that goes 5 times, and there are 2 left over. It's the leftover bit that the modulus calculates. Now that can be quite useful in situations where you need to know and how many are left. We can do other things that work similarly. We can also do the floor, which is the number of times 5 goes into 27, and forget the decimal part. So how many 5s are in 27? There are 5 of them, and we use the slash slash for that. The next video looks at Booleans.